Let's keep the chat going right now. We are right in the middle of an opinion show. Relax, everyone. It'll be okay. Bronwyn Bishop here is the former Speaker of the House and, well, always the lady who never throws us out under 94A, because we've got lots to get to here. Michael Kroger is the former Victorian Liberal Party President. Now, let's get into a couple of things here before I get, again, your thoughts on what we've all seen tonight. Medibank today decided that the people who run Medibank should still get their executive bonuses. Today, one of their executives, the chief executive and other executives, are going to get bonuses of $7.3 million. Now, Medibank is the victim of the crime, right? They are the victim of the cybercrime. However, when your system has failed, should you be rewarded when essentially you have this existential crisis with your customers having confidence in your product, Bronwyn?
In one word, no.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that those bonuses were approved to be paid was disgraceful, because clearly there was information kept on people, which they need not have kept for so long. Clearly their standard wasn't up to hacking. They've survived 250,000 or whatever it is, attacks, they say. But the long and the short of it is, no, there should be no bonuses paid.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
insult.
Michael, I'm not suggesting they need to lose their job, because, again, they are the victims of the crime, but the system didn't work and 10 million people are frightened about what's going to come out. Really? Is this the time for bonuses?
No, mate, it's not. And this is such a bad look for corporate Australia. I mean, the share price since this became public has gone from $3.50 to $2.80. It's gone down 20%.
Exactly.
The shareholders have lost $2 billion. $2 billion. They seem to accept these bonuses today. But you would think the executives and the board would have said to the shareholders, listen, you people have lost $2 billion. We're not going to put our hand in your pocket for another $7.3 million at this time. We're going to defer it for 12 months, 18 months, 2 years. It's just a very bad look. I mean, this is where the lack of alignment between management bonuses and shareholder values is clearly out of whack, and it is in this case. So, no, mate, this is such a bad look and they shouldn't have taken them.
Now, we have the beginnings of the cause for NATO to get involved in Ukraine. If NATO gets involved in Ukraine, we are off to World War III. I have never said World War III on the air, as best as I can remember, because it's a ridiculous thing to suggest. However, when fragments of a Russian missile have killed 2 people in a farm that's in NATO territory, this could trigger that event. However, while I'm deeply critical of Joe Biden and I'll laugh at him falling up the stairs and all the rest of it, I appreciate that his position right now is to play it down, not play it up, not use it as the pretense to ramp all of this up. Here's what he had to say today.
Mr. President, is it too early to say whether this missile was fired from Russia?
There is preliminary information that contests that. I don't want to say that till we completely investigate, but it is. It's unlikely in the minds of the trajectory that it was fired from Russia.
Now, Michael, even if he's BSing, I would prefer de-escalation than escalation at this moment.
Yeah, well, look, it looks as if the missile, in fact, came from the Ukraine, not from Russia. But I think even the Russians are smart enough to know that once you fire a rocket at one NATO country, then, as you say, mate, it is on. It will be World War III, because like the ANZUS alliance, the NATO agreement says an attack on one member country is an attack on every country. So he's got enough problems as it is, Putin. He's losing in the Ukraine piece by piece. And I doubt... And even if it did come from Russia, it's a stray missile, isn't it? I mean, he's not signalling that he's going to invade Poland. I'm sure that's not on his agenda at the minute. He's got enough trouble in the Ukraine, mate.
What do you think, Bronwyn?
Fact or fiction, I think it has to be the assumption that it didn't come from Russia.
Right. Okay. So that's it. Because of all of the stakes that are involved. Again,
that just puts it saves face for something that doesn't seem to have been intentional.
Now, this power price stuff, we hear from the regulator today, again, the market operator, I should say, today. Power prices keep going up. You know this from the budget, but there's a chance it could go for an extra year after that. Now, of course, our Prime Minister says it's all to do with the war we're just talking about.
I asked that China use its influence on Russia. I pointed out that the war in Ukraine was having an impact on the global economy and directly having an impact, which it is, on Australian energy prices and inflation.
Now, the reality is the CSIRO says you've got to spend $1 trillion to move to the fully renewable system, all right? We're going to get to 83%. We know what is being spent here. Stop lying to people that every single power price increase has to do with Ukraine. It's part of it, but it's not all of it.
I'm so over it. I'm so angry with the lie that is perpetuated that says that renewables are the cheapest form of energy. Wrong. You have to package it. The sun and the wind might be free, but it is the means of getting it to people, producing it, putting the wires in, getting it to people. It is the most expensive.
Correct.
That's why we pay $8.8 billion a year in subsidies. To call it cheap is just lying to the people. And for the Prime Minister to say that in the 15 constructive minutes out of the 30 minutes when you add in interpreters, that the main thing he discussed was climate change is a bloody disgrace. It seriously is. The most important thing he had to talk about was ensuring that we could have access to the markets again, and not to be kissing the hand that holds the whip. Because the kowtowing, the term that is used, how far did he have to prostrate himself? I mean, it makes me so angry that we have in this country so much cheap fuel that we can give everybody, our people, cheap power, households, businesses. We can have manufacturing sectors if we give them back the only competitive edge we've got, which was cheap power.
I'm with you completely.
And we've got a government which is feeding inflation on the one hand, with its prices being stuck through the roof, and telling the Reserve Bank on the other side to stick up interest rates to try and cool it down. There is no strategy to make it work. It is just this determination they have to ram down people's throats this idea that renewables are going to be the salvation of the nation, and they're going to push on and destroy the country whichever way it goes. Well, just call Mr Bowen the Minister for blackouts.
Correct. Well, here's the thing, right? When the CSIRO disavows its figure of $1 trillion, I'll stop saying it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Michael, about the hour that we just saw with Peter Credlin, what do you think?
I thought it was fantastic. By the way, Bronwyn, you're completely wrong about power prices. They're going to be $275 cheaper in a couple. I thought the Credlin show was utterly brilliant. I thought Peter Credlin nailed, for all of the people in Australia who are not Victorians, nailed perfectly the sinister, secretive ways of the Andrews government and Daniel Andrews himself. Massive staff controlling the media, controlling government instrumentalities. So many unanswered questions that the media here, quite frankly, haven't pursued properly. Ignoring Neil Mitchell is ridiculous, but sidelining someone like Mitchell who will ask the hard questions. The Premier hasn't been on the leading radio station for 5 years. I don't think he's ever appeared on Sky News. This guy is the master of intimidation, of duplicity, and I thought Peter Credlin did a great job. I love the stuff on iFoods, Cook. Ken Blair. I mean, for Ken Blair to say it's the most corrupt government he's seen in Australian history, well, that says something. And all the secretive nature of government. No, I thought Credlin did a fantastic job. Well done, Peter.
Good on you guys. Thank you very much.